this week's collective energy is the octopus. The octopus is here to really give us a prompt to do an energy audit in our relationships. What friendships, situationships, relationships are leaving you feeling really drained? Which ones are leaving you feel really energized or engaged? And also, how are you feeling as you're engaging with these different relationships? Does it feel like you have maybe some residual stuff? Okay, and it's funny, this is about a week about finding boundaries, which clearly Teddy and I need to have a conversation about boundaries. But yeah, are there certain relationships that you're perhaps in the habit of undersharing, oversharing, or really maybe positioning that relationship as being something other than what it is? Sometimes, especially if you're someone who identifies as being more empathic, there'll be people, who come to us really in a sense for therapy. And so while if this is a reciprocal exchange and you feel like you're also being nourished, that's great, but sometimes we don't realize the weight of that, what it can feel like when you don't have a relationship that is actually really supporting what you are hoping to have in that exchange. And so another thing that I like to think about with the octopus is how can you this is going to be the octopus arm. How can you have a different realization or really different connection with the containers in your life? And what I really mean by that is the octopus is here to remind us that we can have a really perceptive mind. We can sort of like know our stuff or really have ideas about what we want to do. But if we don't have the container from which to do that, then all of a sudden we're flailing all of our arms and we can have this feeling of sort of grasping at straws. And so this week, yes, Teddy, the octopus. This week, how can you also in your energy audit think about what containers do you have, so to speak? That can be a spirituality practice, that can be how you approach nutrition and eating, that can be what do you do for downtime and self-care? Think about all the things that are really considerable uses of your time and energy, the amount of like the frequency you do them as containers. And then really think of, are there proper boundaries? And proper, I actually usually don't use that word, but in this instance, I'm using proper in the sense of, are they actually serving you? So are they like nourishing you in the way that you need? He's cracking me up. It's because he likes to look out the window. This is like the only window in the house he can see, and he has to sit on me. But in this case, I don't mind this because it cracks me up and really brings me a sense of joy and giddiness at just how like content he is to just use me as a chair. And also understanding that this will not be everyone's reaction, but for me, it just cracks me up. And reminds me too to like look out the window, what's happening out there. Oh yes, so in this case, this situationship, and now he's peeping at birds, is really like filling my cup because it just brings me so much joy. And so I feel like the practices that I have that are really centered at sitting at my desk can sometimes leave me spiraling of feeling like all this mental pressure as a mental projector of I have to figure this out right now or there won't be another time. And so his silliness really helps remind me that it doesn't have to be, time doesn't always have to be really spent in this sense of productivity. It's really like, what relationship am I having with the moment that I'm in? And then really letting go of those expectations is, at least in my energy practice, what serves me and alleviating that mental pressure. So how can you look at the boundaries that you have with others, but also within yourself? So full disclosure, I've been having really complex relationship with sleep the past 2 or 3 weeks that I've never had before. And also then that means that there are times that even if I feel like I have energy, I'm still looking at my bed or the couch like, ooh, I want to sleep. Just thinking of how nice it feels to be like cozy under blankets and with pillows. And so I'm really checking myself this week of, how is that actually not because I need rest, my body's not asking for rest, but of me just wanting a certain physical condition that feels more easeful. And then just being honest with myself of how does that then relate to the goals that I want to really work towards, and really the energetic drive within that I feel towards being more of service. So that's an example of what I'll be sitting with this week with the octopus, of really doing doing that energy audit and checking in with where I need more boundaries, and where am I actually having a lot of energy leaks that have maybe in the past just sort of quote unquote always been there, but I didn't question. And so if we are at a place where we're having this open dialogue with the octopus energy this week, what that will really look like is feeling like you have sort of like the pathway, the on-ramp, so to speak, to the week that will feel really nourishing for you. And if we aren't having this dialogue with the octopus, it can really feel like a lot of overstepping, a lot of wanting to just scurry away, a lot of feeling a lack of sureness in yourself and a lack of confidence. And so a few practices that you can do would be journaling. If you do have a therapist, talk therapy, or if you do have a friend where you have that mutual understanding that sometimes your friendship is that vent session, and having that almost like therapeutic approach, practice your boundaries and ask, hey, are you able this week to have like 30 minutes of time where we might talk about some heavy stuff? And really practice modeling those boundaries that you would really appreciate if others modeled with you. And also, full invitation out to anyone, if you've never done an energy audit and you want a little more insight on at least how I approach them, go ahead and reach out for that. And if there seems to be enough interest to make a few posts about it, I will go ahead and do that. But yeah, I would definitely think of the octopus. Sometimes people think of it as like one of the oh shit cards, where it's like, oh, I'm grasping. But really it's like an octopus, if you think of them out on the bottom of the ocean floor, if they are near like coral reefs or a really rocky structure, like they have the nooks and crannies, they have the container that they need to be able to rest, reflect, have that personal time, but then also go out and interact with their environment. And so really think of it as that way of like just finding what is the environment you need this week to feel like you have that balance of structure that's supporting you, but then also that limitlessness of like what you can really do if you're doing your energy audits. So Teddy is giving me all the cues that I should spend a few minutes looking out the window too, so I'm gonna do that. Thank you for checking in, and I hope the octopus and you have a few moments to really just get to know each other and ask yourself, what would feel the most nourishing for me this week? Have a razzle dazzle day.